All aboard! Hello and welcome to this edition of Shaky Hand's Shed, where we'll be taking a lima, exceptionally battered, class 31, from very shabby to looking decent. It's not quite finished at the end of the video, but it's pretty much there. It requires a few little things, but here's the starting subject. Somebody had just happily slapped a long Evo stick, glued on God knows what it were for buffers. Like, looks like cut down pens or whatever. But deliberately slapped Evo stick on the rest of the body. It was a mess, being blunt about it. And here we are looking underneath. The chassis was also a bit of a mess underneath. That required a bit of cleaning. And you can see the extent of glued on couplings, glued on buffers that aren't even buffers. Liberal coating of Evo stick. So much so in some areas it had melted the body away, which you'll see later. Anyway, here's the point where I've stripped the paint, started sanding, getting to know where the damage is, sanding round detail, leaving details on, just getting down to the nitty gritty of the matter. And it's quite a nice model, the Lima Class 31. Here we are a little further on, cleaning it up, getting ready for what bodywork I want to do on it. And I don't want the one with the steps up the side. That was a very early one, they were filled in later, the steps and the bit at the top. And here we can see some rodent damage, where the glue melted the corner of the cab away, which was pretty extreme and needed a remedy, obviously. And there's a lot still to do. Well, not a lot, there's a bit still to do, but here we are. It's some very thin plastic card on the inside to maintain the shape, for filling over the top of it. You need the thin plastic card, about the thinnest you can find, so the body will still, the chassis will still go inside the body. And here it is, covered with a layer of filler. I think to nowadays for strength I'll probably use JB Weld, but I've just used Humbrol filler there. It'll do the job, it did the job, so. But for strength nowadays I've probably gone over it with JB Weld. And here we are, sanded back the filling a bit, getting back to where I want it to be, and starting looking better. Still trying to maintain all the details. I've not done it yet, but I think I'll be drilling. I've drilled out for head cord lights, but I've still to drill out for headlights and tail lights. I think I'm thinking of putting sound and lighting in it. Anyway, here we are up in primer, put it in a white primer. Grey would suffice as well, but doing it so I can find where I'm up to and what I want to do on it. Right, there we go. And at the front, that's the repaired end. So it's looking good. Happy enough with that. Because you've got to remember, on the real ones there was usually dents and scuffs on the corners where they caught things in yards or off edges of platforms or whatever. There was always bits of dings and bumps in the corners. So it's pretty prototypical, not being fully straight. And here we are, I've put it in first coat of blue, and if you look closely I did some pre-shading down panel lines and stuff, just to accentuate things when I put the colour codes on. I don't think it's immediately visible on the later one, but... And here I've cleaned off the buffer beams and put in some Hornby sprung buffers to improve the looks and stuff. It looks a lot better with them on. They're a good piece of kit. There's plenty around because basically the Hornby Class 31 from a few years ago was shit, and they all fell to pieces with Mazak rot. So there's plenty of stuff like this around for detailing other 31s, such as roof fans, and I don't know how you'd make the roof fan revolve, but it's there. You can always use it as just the detail bit, because as you can see on this one, I've opened up the roof hole. There's actual pictures of it before I've done this, later on, but then it goes on to when I've replaced it with the etched brass grill. There is an etched brass, there was an etched brass kit for doing the grill and fan. And anyway, is with the side, the steps have been filled in, and I think it was a tray heater over top. On the 31s you've got to watch what model you're modelling as to what's on it and what isn't. And the buffers have been painted black rather than red. And here I cut a couple of pieces of plastic card for the windscreen washers. You can just see them at the side of windows there. As per prototype, Lima didn't have them on. And all it takes is a couple of little pieces of plastic card. Dab a bit of Tamiel liquid poly, extra thin or whatever, and put them on. And at this point I've put a bit of extra buffer beam detail on. Add to the detail. I'm not so sure whether I got them off me Bachmann 25 or whether I got them separate. I'm unsure now. I think they were from me Bachmann 25. Just adds that little bit more. And here I'm rescribing body lines around the front corners, and I'll be sanding them out. It's just to accentuate the fact that they took the original body mouldings off, re-welded a strip of metal in and made them flat, and you can, in some instances you could see the areas that have been welded. And there we have filled around the, I think it were, I'm sure it were a train heater. but it's filled in and the steps up to it are filled in, and I've actually cleaned up and weathered the bogies now and under chassis. There's obviously, you find out as you go around, there's bits you're not happy with, so you fill in, and you can see the pre-shading and the spraying on other areas, round panels, round doors, all that lot. So starting to come on at this point. And here, this was before I cut the fan out, this. Like, that's the original moulded fan. So I've cut it out, used etched brass, and I've got etched brass fan inside now. But yeah, it was, like I say, this one, I wanted the fan and open it up, because I'm planning on putting a DCC sound in it, and the fan opening's ideal for the sound to come out. And there we go, you can see the etched brass parts on it there. Take down onto it, and you can see the pre-shading I did as well. As I say, these were a bit the wrong way round regarding the fan, but it's alright, it's alright. And here we go, so, because you're spraying yellow, spray on white first. Yellow should be your first colour because it's a very weak pigment, and ideally sounds silly, but if you spray it under over a pink undercoat, it richens yellow up better. And here we go into the rail blue, and you can see that, still see the bits, what do you call it, I've done pre-shading, still looking good around certain areas. Nice match, I forget who it was, I think he were Airfix's rail match paint. And there's the front end. I've also made the wire and rails. I made them out of wire rather than the plastic moulding. You can actually get handrail jigs. Well, there we go, I think I did the door ones as well. Well, that's a bit of a side view with the weathering and stuff, etc. Starting to look good. I think I put a 3-link coupling in as well. Anyway, here's where we finished up to now. I have to put my cab numbers in and lighting in and sound, but should make a nice 31 once it's done. Like, I'm planning a rail blue layout, so it'll go well and look well on that. I'm planning to renumber it as one of the Manchester locals, Manchester 31, so anyway, here it is alongside a Class 47 that I've done already. That one's fully DCC fitted with sound and lighting, and it's on one of my other channels, the video. I think it's on my own personal channel. I'll probably put a link to it on underneath when you're watching. I'll put a link to the video. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Hope it's been informative. And if you've enjoyed, please hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up. Even better, subscribe. And even better than that, switch your notifications on. Anyway, bye for now. And as we say up north, tatty pie everyone. Tatty pie.